watching IntoWineTV, and today we're at Incanto restaurant in San Francisco, and we're tasting Italian island wines. And this is the Cannonau Di Sardegna. It's 100% Cannonau. It retails for $28, and it's from Sardinia. What do you think, Edward?
Appears to be varietally correct. Cannonau is, they say, one and the same as Grenache. From Grenache, I almost always get a little bit of a spicy, maybe a white pepper note. And I get a little bit of that out of this wine. And it's funny, for an island wine, for a wine where the climates are pretty moderate and pretty consistent, I don't get a real great ripeness of fruit, which really isn't that bothersome to me, but I think people that are shopping for a Sardinian wine are going to expect a little more fruit tone on the palate, I think. But I get that white pepper note. It's got a nice entry, decent mid palate, and shortens up on the finish just a little bit. But I find it almost bone dry.
You know, that lack of fruit that you're talking about is what I like about this wine. It's got restraint. It's got a beautiful color just to begin with. Not often I think about colors, but this has a beautiful color. And the nose is really big. It makes me want to think there's more alcohol than just 13%. But if it is indeed only 13%, as they say, then I think it's showing amazing fruit for a wine of such low alcohol.
At 13%.
At 13%. And I think it's got a delicious, the pepper flavor you're talking about is spot on. And I can see this in SBQR or somewhere like that with a pasta with garlic and peppers and black peppers, and it's a delicious food wine, I think. And I really like this wine. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I like this wine as well. I've tasted a wine from this producer, and I'm curious about tasting more wines in the future, or maybe even past vintages from this producer. I think that they make really clean wines. I think Sardinia is somewhere in between of, you can have somewhat rustic wines or somewhat very precise wines like this, and it's good. I'd like to have this with some charcuterie and whatnot, and maybe Ed can break out some Boccolone stuff here at the Incanto.
That slicer working?
Yeah.
It's interesting that the importer is called the Sorting Table, and they're based in Napa Valley, and I don't know this company, but it's very important to look at the back labels, see who the importer is, because there are some which you can get a trend of being good importers or bad importers. I'd love to taste other wines from this importer to see.
Yeah, well, I can shed a little light onto the Sorting Table. The Sorting Table is, it's almost kind of like a break-off renegade wine of Wilson Daniels, another big,
very reputable.
Exactly, and so they're bringing in smaller producers. Weinbach comes to mind as one of their big imported wines, Domaine Weinbach from Alsace. So I think they're looking for producers that are very correct, very well-made wines.
Well, I think they've succeeded with this.
Yeah, and I this wine strikes me of. This is if I was in Sardinia, I'd want to visit this winery just to see what's going on in the vineyards and so forth. It seems like it really comes through on the wines, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're practicing like organic and maybe going into the biodynamic realm of vineyard
I think
management.
If you look at the glass now as well, I mean, the comment you made on alcohol is interesting, because you look at the glass and boy, that sure looks a lot higher than 13%. As the legs kind of run real slow down the side of the glass. Yeah. And I think you may have a point there that this may be upwards of 14.5%. It's well made, it's balanced, and I actually like the fact, of course you have ripeness of fruit. We're talking about fruit here. You have the ripeness, but you don't have that kind of jammy over ripeness of fruit, and definitely none of that pruny note that you can get.
Yeah, it's not a fruit bomb. It's got some serious fruit to it.
Yeah, it seems to me that it seems southern in its southern Italy, certainly in its manner, but yet it almost has an elegance like you might find from Tuscany. Yeah. It's almost like Nera d'Avola meets Chianti in a way.
Overall, a well-made, well-balanced wine with an amazing color here. It's the Cannonau Di Sardegna. Again, it retails for $28. Definitely worth a try. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time on IntoWineTV. Thanks.